Hi there everyone. So a lot of you may have already seen my original Wendigo video, and as a solo and duo player myself, generally, I wanted to make a much smaller version that was significantly more affordable. Now I wanted to bring a lot of those same features that the Wendigo had into this, and I think I did a great job of it. The build uses 3 separate TCs, which makes the base extremely difficult to grief. Both external TCs are disconnectable, which sever the build privilege of externals and allow for easy replacement of main tool cupboard after a raid. Inner and outer peaks are both highly stable in the event of a pummel, and a spacious bunker floor containing 2 roof bunkers which are designed to keep your batteries and items safe during onlines or offlines. Shooting floor itself is covered in angles and is great for seeing all around your compound and pretty deep outside. Combined with the high stability, this is especially nice during online raids as raiders try to pile into a breach. 4 separate roof peaks are used to give 360-degree vision all around your roof, deterring top-down raids and scrap helis from landing. The base is highly modular, beginning with a compact starter, then a high storage second floor, then external TCs to claim your build spot, then a defendable shell, then a compound to quickly smelt your resources, then your bunker floor to log off with, then finally, your completed wide gap shooting floor and roof pieces. The base itself costs 55k stone, 53k frags, and 516 high qual, with an upkeep of 8.9k stone, 8.8k frags, and 96 high qual. Before I begin, I want to quickly shout out my Discord, where you can learn more about building in general, as well as ask questions and get help on my builds. There's also all of my base's sanctuary codes in there too. I also want to mention Building Bulletin, which is a really great place to learn about clan building. Thanks as well to Splattero, as he made the thumbnail, and his channel will be linked in the description. First, begin your footprint by placing a hexagon, then upgrade 4 of the foundations to high qual, and these 2 to sheet. Surround the entire footprint with walls, upgrading the 3 walls on the 3 high qual foundations to high qual, and these 3 to sheet. Then add a divider high qual wall here, and 3 more stone frames. Place your TC in this nook with a window in front of it, and then cover your entire base with floors, upgrading 3 to high qual and 2 to sheet. In the leftover triangle, add a chute like so, with 2 sheet walls, and capping it with a sheet floor. I also like to do some form of twig jump up, just to be used as a temporary way to get into your actual base. Then finish up by closing it with a garage door. Heading inside, down the chute, we fill all the frames with garage doors. We have 2 boxes below the jump up, our barbecue with a small box, 2 bags, our 4-box loot room with 2 small boxes, and our TC behind some glass. For your second floor, add a mix of walls, windows, and doorways, and upgrade everything to sheet. Then add frames all throughout, upgrading each to stone. Finally, cap the roof with triangles, leaving a slit right there, and make another chute, this time with 2 garage door exits. Finally, add either an armored or sheet single door. It doesn't really matter, I just use armored here. Heading in, we have 4 boxes all around. We use a tier 2 as the jump up to our upper roof area. And we have 2 towels for respawns upstairs, as well as some glass to check for door campers. When you're ready to start your shell, destroy your jump up and place a square and triangle with 2 frames in the triangle facing outwards. Then upgrade everything to sheet and add a wall. You'll see there's a conditional on the sides here. As I rotate this frame, the conditional will appear and disappear. Make sure the conditional is there, as that will cover gaps in your peaks. It's also important that this triangle is there before you start this build out I'm doing now, as that triangle won't be replaceable afterwards. Anyways, go 8 squares out and cap with a triangle, then destroy all of the squares and build back with more triangles in a half-moon hexagon fashion. Once you've placed your last triangle, destroy the entire build out. If this wasn't already evident, you should be mirroring this on both sides, and I'm using symmetry to show that. Anyways, make this short build out, then cap it with a big triangle type shape. This will be used as our gatehouse later. upgrade 3 to sheet and 1 to stone, then make this short build out. This will be our external disconnectable TC. Now this is the same one as I've been using previously, only a slightly different layout, as it is shorter, the distance from the external TC, and it just makes it more usable on different terrain types. Anyways, I'll have a link to that on the screen now. Finish by closing it up with some windows and adding your floor frames like so. Next, we're going to place a frame with a half wall on top of it, as this will be how we connect it back to the main base eventually. Now, from here, we're going to finish up the footprint of our shell, like so, as once the wide gap foundations are down, these triangles won't be replaceable. Place a pattern like this and destroy all squares, then upgrade everything to sheet. Continue by adding walls all around the perimeter with a mix of stone and sheet. If it helps, put the stone walls beside the triangles you already pre-placed, and, the sheet walls elsewhere. Then place a metal frame in between the two sheet walls. Place a window on this triangle with the frame and a full wall on top of it, then create a frame at half height through the full wall. After upgrading it to sheet, place a square frame here. Now, while you may be tempted to connect the frames immediately like this, you need to first place your wide gap foundations and one set of frames. As you can see, as long as the wall frames are placed before the floors will place and it can be connected. Shown here, if the floor is placed first, the wall will not place. However, if you place the wall beforehand, of course, the floor will place. Credit to Cohen for this connection, he'll be linked in the description. Moving on, place 2 more metal wall frames here, as well as a floor on top of them, and fill all frames with garage doors. Then, place some boxes on the floor, which can be used as quick dump boxes. Next, we're going to place a loot room here by first starting off with a ramp, then placing a full wall and a half-height floor on top of said ramp, and fill in the walls around it. The ramps make it so that if your base is blown from the outside in, the ramps add an extra wall to actually gain access into the base. Place a frame and then a floor to cover gaps, and from there you should have 4 boxes in each of your ramp loot rooms, as you can see here. So basically the thick end, so the top side there, would block raiders from being able to get into the window. Moving on, place a doorway with a triangle on top of it, as well as a full wall and another triangle. Then cover the entire base with walls and match the grade to the wall below it. So stone walls should be stone and whatnot. Then honeycomb the stone walls with more stone walls. After you've capped the honeycomb with some more stone triangles, place your peaks like so, then place a frame right here, which will have a ladder hatch later. Place 2 more full walls inside the triangle hatch, and make sure they're facing outwards so you have conditionals blocking the gaps. Then surround the entire base with full walls, upgrading everything to sheet, leaving the spots above the 2 loot rooms empty, as those will have frames later. Place 2 more frames, again make sure that the conditional is there to block gaps. Add the aforementioned frames like so, sort of mirroring what we did below, and upgrade all of this to sheet. Next, add 2 frames on each of the honeycomb portions that have stone honeycomb. Those will be used for sightlines later in the shooting floor. Then we add our bedroom and upper chute like so. So we're just going to sort of surround it, leaving 1 wall empty right there and a half wall here, which will be used as a jump up later. And this room that I'm making now is going to be our double bedroom soon. After you've capped the hexagon itself, leaving that 1 missing triangle for the chute later, we add the actual chute, upgrading one wall to armored, which should be facing outwards of the base towards the external TC. I also like to upgrade these frames to sheet metal. Place frames all around off the core, upgrading this one to sheet, and this one to stone, and the other one to sheet. They can all be sheet if it helps to remember. Then place full floors off the outside, upgrading everything to sheet except this one, which should be high qual, as that will be where the bunkers are. Place a sheet metal triangle off the right one here, then another high quality metal triangle right here, as again, those are for bunkers. Finish up by closing this with another sheet triangle, and cap the frames with more sheet triangles. Sorry. Once you're finished placing garage doors on the chute, your defendable shell is pretty much done. Heading down the chute, we have some boxes under the chute, as well as our double bedroom with a locker. We use siren lights to stop people from falling or laddering up the peaks by accident. We have double doors, which are used to section off the peaks, as well as ladder hatches, which are used as chutes to easily get up and down. We have lockers for quick re-kitting, as well as garage doors for outer access at the moment, which will eventually be used as chutes to shooting floor. Then heading down the hatch, we have double doors, which are also used to section off our peaks, as well as tons of drop boxes for quick dumping of loot. We have single doors and glass to be used as our outer exit and to check for door campers. And we have an oil refinery, which is used as our jump up to second floor. Now, before we do our compound, we're going to need to do our next wide gap build out, as the compound may block the build out itself. So we're going to build out with 3 squares, capping with a triangle, then build back with a half moon type thing, and destroy the triangle build out, leaving 1 triangle and adding a square and triangle on either side. Then add a triangle here and place wall frames like so, and 2 more wall frames. These wall frames connect the triangles. Without those 2 wall frames, the foundations will decay. Remember to make the wall frames before you make the floor frames. So we're going to add half floor frames like so and connect it through the wall like this. Then destroy that frame we placed earlier. Then we just bring everything to stone. I do like to make this triangle sheet metal, as it will keep the wide gap from falling after 4 rockets, so instead it will be an 8 rocket wide gap. Then you can leave these 2 stone. After the wide gap foundations are done, we can continue with the compound, so add some windows like so with some embrasures, then add double doors on the frames and add a full wall here, then close up the gatehouse with some triangles. Add a half wall here, and add our barricade like so. Then make the compound. You can do it in any way you like. However, I did it like this. Got the goddamn transition looking smooth and whatnot. Anyways, this compound uses 16 walls, but again, do whatever layout you like. To begin the bunkers, add some frames in between the honeycomb, then add a half wall and window on top of it, upgrading both to sheet on either side of the wall frame. Then we're going to add 2 frames on each, making sure that they're facing outwards, which activates a conditional model, as you can see there. Then add triangle stone frames to each, as they will cover the gaps of horizontal embrasures that you can see me placing here, so that people can't see into your bunker floor. Add 3 more full walls here, upgrading these 2 to high quality metal and this one to sheet, then a full wall and window, activating a conditional to cover bunker gaps again. Then add another full wall and frame facing outwards, making sure that this hunk of high qual is poking out. That conditional as it is used to cover the bunker gaps. Add your bunker wall and another sheet wall here with 2 more stone frames. Then fill in your core with wall frames, upgrading everything to sheet. After that's done, you can start closing up the roof, so add 2 triangles on either side like so, leaving this one empty. Then place a frame off the external TC and a full floor off the core, as well as this triangle off the core. That gap needs to be there. Same with this sheet square, it needs to be off the core itself, not the outer walls. The bunkers will not open otherwise. Add a frame here with a floor inside of it to cover gaps again, then add a sheet triangle. And from there, your roof is essentially closed. Just add the chute, like so, with 2 full walls, and a sheet wall with a stone wall, and then our frame with a garage door inside of it. Heading inside, we use our tier 3 as a jump up to get to the roof floor, and that can be seen there. Then a shelf with 4 boxes on it, a bedroom, and a locker, as you can see here, with a small box inside of it. We use this double door to access the outside, which will eventually be our wide gaps, and we use campfires to easily slide up and down the beds without jumping, to just increase quality of life. Our bunkers are here, and if you place a roof through the peaks from below, you'll see that they open. Heading inside the bunkers, we have 6 boxes, as well as a small box and 3 campfires, and our large battery, which are extremely protected. This is completely symmetrical on both sides. For anyone wondering as to the point of the flame traps, they are to allow for the roof bunkers to remain open constantly, as even if they were open, raiders could never get inside, as the flame traps destroy the twig. To continue making your base more defendable, we add our wide gap shooting floor. Start by adding frames all around here, upgrading everything to sheet. Then place floor tiles, like so, all along the top, upgrading everything to sheet again. Then add windows, upgrading them all to stone, and place some embrasures. Moving to your external TC side, we place a build out of 1 triangle, a square, and 2 triangles, then delete the square and 2 triangles. After that, place a square and a triangle, and that is your wide gap foundation footprint. This would not be possible without that short build out. Just repeat that on both sides. After your footprint is completed, we're going to just fill the entire thing up with frames. Yeah, we're going to upgrade some to sheet and some to stone in a very specific order so that the wide gaps remain at 8 rockets to fall, no matter what. Anyways, upgrade this line to sheet and this line to stone. It's sort of every other line should be stone. So the center 2 are stone, and then the sides beside that are sheet, and beside that are stone as well, if that makes sense. Just follow the pattern I'm doing here, I suppose. Then cap it all with floor tiles, leaving a blank one above this garage door, as that will be occupied by a ladder hatch quite soon. After upgrading everything to sheet, we are going to add our windows, upgrading them all to stone. Then place ramps right here, as that will give us some elevation for better angles. Place full walls on the chute areas, then place your ladder hatches. After your hatch is placed, we're going to have 2 door frames, which are going to be used for double doors to section off the shooting floor so that raiders can't take control of the whole shooting floor by just blowing into a chunk of it. Then cap off the top of that and add embrasures all throughout your windows. To add some more roof protection to your base, add some siren lights on the top of these half walls, as these will give us access to the roof peaks. Just jump on top of the siren lights and you have great sight lines. Close up the wide gaps by placing floors off the outside, essentially mirroring what you had below. Then stone everything up. And add half walls and triangle floor tiles on top of said half walls to close up the roof peaks. And then you're also going to want to add more half walls here, as these will be used as turret pods for later. Next, add roof pieces here. You may want to go beneath to place this roof, as otherwise it will be extremely difficult to place from above. Just place a series of square roofs all along the top in a up and down type of fashion. And that will give really good angles outside from your shooting floor to be a scumbag roof camper. Finish up your roof access by adding 2 frames here, and then adding some full walls and windows all around to give sight lines to check for roof door campers, however unlikely they may be. Add some windows and your double doors, and then 1 more double door right here, and your base is essentially done. To get some power going, begin by placing 4 frames high, and then place 2 triangles and place a wind turbine on top. Repeat this on either side. Once you've got some power going, you can begin placing some turrets. Start with 2 on either side of the roof in our turret pods here. Then place 1 on either side at your bunkers, 1 on each side of the shooting floor, 1 on each side above inner peaks, 1 in each side of lower peaks, 1 at each gatehouse. Then place a triangle at the wide gap connections, bringing it to sheet, and place 1 turret there on each side. After your turrets are down, the base is pretty much complete. Thank you everyone for watching this. I'm not really sure how to end these, to be honest, but if you want to run up a sub and a like, that would be really appreciated. See you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.